Alright, I know it's been a while since we've had an update, but a lot of us have had summer programs as well as dealing with end of school stuff. And we really only got to work roughly starting this week, but we did make significant amount of progress. Essentially what ended up happening was, see this bad boy right here. We bought this kind of used and it was allegedly operational. Well, it is operational, but the vacuum was not deep enough for our purposes. So we had to make some changes. I had to seal some stuff. We switched out the oil completely. The oil they had in there was disgusting. And you'll also notice we actually ended up powering on this active Pirani gauge, and essentially it uses like a filament in there for temperature to measure the pressure. And we hit roughly 2.4 volts on the voltmeter measuring the output voltage, and there should be a conversion, but that's roughly 3 times 10 to the negative 3 millibars, or roughly 2.25 microns for anyone doing the math. And essentially we kind of switch out a bunch of stuff. These sealers we had to get completely brand new. The ones they had on here were old and they wouldn't seal properly. And yeah, essentially everything's pretty well set up. We also had this that we built the other day. It's really just connect some stuff. It's not that bad. But that should go right here. Notice that? And we'll have the gauge here and then the other end connected onto our tube. It's kind of flopping around. But yeah, it's decent progress for a week. Most of the other members have had other commitments, so there really was not that much time to work on stuff, but wanted to just send an update, especially because our first video was months ago. You may also notice that we have a Baratron here. This we're planning on seeing if we can also purpose for the for our setup. Essentially, like, this measures your absolute pressure, while this measures your pressure by doing some calculation with its temperature. It is nice to have two. The quote-unquote guide we're following uses this for inlet pressure, while it uses this for the absolute pressure in the chamber. If we can get this up and running, we're most likely going to do the same. But if not, we could repurpose this for our absolute pressure, because it is very accurate and accurate enough to tell us that we are at a low enough pressure for things to work out. I will attach the video of us actually testing this and seeing the pressure we got down to. Unfortunately, we were not able to take a video of the 2.4, but we did make a follow-up one for that hit 2.7, and you will notice that at 2.7 it was still going down. You might just have to take our word for 2.4, but even 2.7 is very impressive and very low of a vacuum for the things to work out. Alright, so I'm gonna showcase the vacuum that we're getting currently, and I think it's pretty decent for what we want. You'll notice right now we're at 10. That just means it's at atmospheric pressure. So because it's a log scale with this voltage -6, using that. So yeah, it should be pretty good. I'm gonna seal this up and then we're gonna start the vacuum and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, sealed it up as far as I can with my hand. Like it's not gonna twist anymore. Don't let it look still atmosphere. And I will turn the vacuum on and we'll see the lowest that it gets to. We'll notice it quickly drops down to like 3.8. I'll give it like, what, 4 or 5 minutes and then I'll check back. Alright, so I just counted out a full minute in my head. You'll notice down right now, it's down to 2.78-ish. It's actually slowly still crawling down. And so it's literally been 1 minute. I imagine if we were to hook this up to our chamber, that in roughly an hour, 2 hours at the maximum, we would be able to reach down to this same ultimate vacuum. And now I'm gonna turn the pump off. You're gonna notice the pressure is going to shoot up. That's just because the pump is not actually it's not gonna be able to maintain a perfect vacuum if it's turned off. And we have a ball valve. I haven't connected that because it's kind of a hassle to do that each time, but it will be connected. So notice right now, final reading roughly around 2.7. I'm gonna send a chart or show a chart, and it will. Alright, turn it off so the noise is a little better. But you'll notice, look, it's shooting up. But I will send a chart, and that will pretty much tell us how much that is in terms of millibars for this voltage to pressure conversion. So it was what, 2.7? That's actually really good. From what I can remember, that's roughly 10 to the negative 4-ish, like 4 times 10 to the negative 4. Yeah, somewhere around there. It's a very, very deep vacuum. That's like single-digit microns. So yeah, you'll notice it's shooting up. I'm actually going to disconnect this now, and I'll just show you that it returns back to its atmospheric pressure. So, come on. Alright, you'll notice the vacuum is still actually sufficient to literally hold this on even without the bracket securing it. But I will then peel this off. You may hear like a little fizzle of oil. That's essentially from the oil in the vacuum that sort of gets mystified and pulls out all of the molecules. And look, we're back down to 10. That means this baby is back at atmospheric pressure.